If you study successful people, whether they're business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs, celebrities, they all really have one thing in common that has helped get them to where they are today. Successful people get to where they are not by accident. It's very calculated. Nobody just wakes up and overnight is a sensation. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, a lot of trying to feel out what's going on with trial and error and sampling things, and a lot of people fail before they ever really get, successful. But they all seem to have something in common, something that if you study successful realtors, they have in common too. And that is that they all have routines. Now, I know routines are not a sexy subject, and it's not something that's actually talked about all that often, although I think it should be. But routines are really what can set you up for success every single day, especially if you have the right routines in place. Now, with routines, the one thing about them is you can be changing them all the time. They don't have to be set in stone. And if you look at successful people and you study them, you will see they've never really had the same routine their entire time. They've changed it. It evolves with their business and who they are. But studying realtors and really diving deep into what makes top producers, and also from our own experience, we have found that there are 3 routines that every realtor has to have in order to be successful. Okay? So let's dive right into it. The one that I think personally is the most important routine, but it's also the routine that is rarely talked about. It's a very simple one, but it could really set you up for success for the next day. I'm talking about a nighttime routine. A nighttime routine. Now, a nighttime routine is very basic and it's not complicated, but if you put a couple things in place to do before you go to bed, it could really, really help set you up for the next day and a lot of success for that. So when it comes to your nighttime routine, a couple things you want to consider doing. One is pick out your clothes for the next day. Now that might sound a little bit basic, but if you think about it, that our brains are basically a battery. And why waste time in the morning and that battery trying to decide what you're going to wear? Just pick it out the night before. That way when you wake up, you already know what you're going to put on. And if you have a lot of clothes, definitely a benefit to pick it out the night before. 2 is organize your to-do list. You're going to have a bunch of stuff you're going to do the next day. We all do, especially as we become busier and life gets in the way as well. Organize that list. Figure it out what you got to do the next day. And then when you wake up, you already know the things that you're going to have to tackle that day. Right? And the third thing is read. It's really important you spend time educating yourself. Read for 30 minutes a night. Read good books. Don't go digging into Harry Potter books and thinking that's going to help you. Like, find some business books. Even if it's 30 minutes a day, it accumulates to a lot of education over time. So for your nighttime routine, do those 3 things, and that'll help set you up for success for the next day. Now, the second routine that we really think is important to have is your morning routine. What are you going to do when you wake up? Most people kind of get up and they look at their phone and they'll start scrolling and they just get lost in a trance of social media and emails. Really suggest you don't do this. Don't start answering emails right away, because as soon as you respond, people are going to respond back to you, and you just will fall into this trap, and it's hard to get out of that. Instead, use that morning for yourself. Set yourself up for success for that day by taking care of yourself in the morning. One of the best things you could do is as soon as you wake up, drink a glass of water. It's a great thing to do to start getting some energy going. Your body, they've done studies on this, your body loses water overnight. It needs to be rehydrated. We need water. So go get up, drink a glass of water right away. Then highly suggest doing some kind of a workout or something. Even if you're not a big workout buff, maybe do some stretching or yoga or go for a walk around the block. You got to get the blood pumping. You got to get going in the morning. That's a great way to do it, okay? Once you're done with that, get ready for the day. Get dressed, go through your routine, the showers, whatever. Get ready to go, and then maybe grab your coffee and start looking at some things that are going to help you understand what's going on in the world. I highly suggest sign up for newsletters and definitely customize your phone app, a news app on your phone, so that you can get really good information on what's going on in the world at that time. Because remember, we don't know who we're going to meet, and we need to be able to talk to people. So doing that sets you up for a lot of success for that day, regardless of what you run into. Now, the third one is something that we kind of call the office routine. This should be done as soon as you get into the office. Again, don't answer any emails, don't answer any calls or texts. These are things you need to do to work on your business to keep you moving forward. All right? Have a checklist of these things and check them off. It's a great feeling to check it off. I like to use Evernote for this because the checkbox doesn't go away and I could check it a million times. And when I see that little green check, I feel really good that I've accomplished all these things. Before I did this video, I literally went through all of them. It's a handful. I got them done. And now it's before 9 o'clock and my day is already set up. Anything that happens after this is just gravy. It's icing on the cake, right? So do things, though, that are going to be helpful for your business. Follow up on showings with any agent that showed a property the day before, any of your listings. Follow up with buyers that you took out the day before. Ask them for feedback on, what they saw and if they're any interest in anything. Prospect, call people, follow up with your database. Do something to keep generating more in business. Follow up on leads. Lead follow-up is so important to do right away to make sure you knock that out. Follow up with your leads. Maybe if you're into it, reverse prospect listings, if you can do that to see if anyone marked your listings as interested, and you can follow up with those agents if your MLS allows that. And another thing I like to do, and we talk about this in the mentorship program a lot, is when you work with buyers, try to find them properties. Search the MLS for them. Search Zillows or the Redfins. You got to be proactive with your buyers. So find them properties and send it to them. Those are just a couple things we do. Oh, and before I forget, social media. Put something out on social media. Go on social media at least and like and comment and say happy birthday to people. It gets the algorithms going so that anything you post later on is going to get picked up. It's important you do that. You got to play those algorithms. Again, something we talk about in the mentorship program that is very helpful of how to use social media effectively. Make sure you're doing it every single day. The algorithms are going to love you. Do it on any platform you're on. So those are 3 routines that every realtor needs to have in order to really be successful. We've tried these. We've tested them. We've messed with them. We do them ourselves. I can tell you how helpful they have been for our business. And a lot of the realtors we speak to who didn't have these routines in place, we've talked to them about them. We've helped them with them. And now they are seeing a lot more success. Their days are a lot more structured. And they just feel good about it. Because remember, there's nobody looking over our shoulders telling us what to do. We're independent contractors. We're our own bosses. Having 3 routines like this can really, really set you up for success, not only in the short term, but in the long term.